Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Kate, and in this video, I'll be guiding you through a simple yoga practice. And this yoga practice will be inspired by the theme of new beginnings. And so we'll be focused primarily kind of on how a typical yoga class begins. So this will be a shorter practice than a full yoga class normally is. And yoga is a practice that and a whole philosophy that is more than 5,000 years old. And there's so much more to it than simply the exercises. And one thing that really inspires me and energizes me about yoga and learning more is that the practice, some parts of the practice and the exercises have been inspired by nature and people observing nature and animals and thinking, wow, our bodies are kind of like nature and we can move like a tree or like a cat or a cow or a cobra. And there's just so much we can continue to explore by observing the wisdom and beauty and power of nature and connecting in our own hearts, in our own bodies to that powerful source that's all around us. And so today I'll be moving in the sunshine. I'm going to be sitting down on the floor or on the mat cross-legged. You're welcome to be sitting in a chair or standing or in whatever position supports you the most. Remember that whenever you're following a teacher in a yoga class, it's really important to listen to yourself and to tune into what is most needed for you. So rather than focusing on looking like something else outside of you, let what's outside of you inspire you to go within, listen, and see what versions or variations of these movements will support you and your own body because we are all different, we're all unique, and that's such a gift and blessing. Okay, so take a moment and decide for yourself whether you'd like to be sitting in a chair or perhaps sitting on the floor. Find an easy way for yourself to land. You might be standing. Just take a moment to settle into some stillness. You might begin to notice what parts of your body are supported by a chair or the floor. You might decide for yourself if you'd like to have your palms down, resting downward, or maybe you'd like to open them. You might try both and see how you feel in this moment. And I invite you to bring your attention to your breath, just noticing how your breath is entering your body and leaving your body in an ongoing cycle. You might allow yourself to notice your spine. And on your next inhale, feel free to lengthen your spine in both directions. Lengthening through the top of your head. You can even gently tap the top of your head. And also lengthening down through your tailbone. Grow a little taller. Beautiful. And if you'd like, you might bring one palm to your heart and the other palm to your belly and take 3 breaths with me to begin a new beginning, each breath. Here we go. Inhaling and exhaling on your own timing. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Beautiful. If you'd like to, You might give your shoulders some easy, gentle circles, reaching them up toward the ears and then circling them back. Maybe it feels good to circle one shoulder at a time, or maybe you want to do both. And if you'd like to, you could try taking these circles the other direction, from the back to the front. Really noticing maybe a big shoulder circle feels really good, or maybe making the circle a little smaller. We'll just see how your shoulders are doing. Take any movement through the shoulders, wiggle them out a little bit if you want. If you'd like to, you can take your fingertips, rest them on your shoulders, and just take a few gentle circles through the elbows. Noticing your breath, noticing the sunshine. Let's take one more circle. Beautiful. Maybe you want to take one in the other direction, back to front. Remember, movements don't need to look like anyone but your own. Okay. If you'd like to, you could take the fingertips of one hand and imagine you're planting some seeds. You wiggle them to the side, plant some seeds. Maybe something comes to mind that you want to plant in your own heart, in your own imaginary garden, or maybe you really have a garden too. So what kind of seeds would you like to plant? What flowers would you like to see grow? These seeds could also be seeds such as like to have more peace or calm energy. You can plant whatever you like. Maybe more love or more sunshine in my life. What kind of seeds would you like to plant? When you're ready, you take your other palm, reach up high, soften through your shoulders, and you might just take a little stretch up to go over, softening through the shoulders, planting those seeds. You might wiggle your top arm. You could look down. You could look out, straight ahead, or maybe even up. And when you're ready, you might turn your top palm over. Let your arm come first. Slow, nice and easy. And then coming back to the center. Beautiful. All right. Maybe imagine you're going to water those seeds and then just let it be. You planted the seed, let it be. You're going to plant some seeds on the other side. So again, lengthening through your spine in both directions, taking that moment to plant. Notice what comes to your heart if you think about what you'd like to grow in your life or grow in your garden. Maybe you can think of actual flowers you'd want to plant, or maybe what comes to mind is something like more breath awareness in your life, or more time and space. What do you need? When you're ready, take your other arm, reach it up, soften through the shoulders, and up to go over. Again, you might look straight out, you might look up, or maybe down, or somewhere in between. Notice what feels good to your head and neck, stretching your side and breathing into your side. When you're ready, you can take your top palm, turn it over, and slowly let your arm lead the way, and then the head and neck come up. Beautiful. Okay, you might imagine that you're watering those seeds, helping them grow. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. If you'd like to, you can take a moment to allow your palm to come right behind your skull, so gently cupping behind your ears. And your other palm might just gently find your sacrum or your lower, a little below even your lower back, your tailbone. And those are the two ends of our spine, the occipital bones behind the ears and the tailbone, coccyx, sacrum area. So connecting with those two ends of the spine through some cat and cow movement. So if you can spine in one direction, you can let go of that gentle tactile reminder. You might rest your palms on your knees as you arc your spine in some ways that feel really good to you today. Moving with your breath. In yoga, this is called cat and cow. The cat is the arching of the back like a cat, and the cow, really letting your belly go forward, moving on your own timing. You could move slower or faster, moving with your inhale and exhale. Exploring the range of your spine. Take a couple more trips through your spine. And when you're ready, you can come back to that neutral spine. See if you can really settle in and find what feels really good, neutral to you. One way I like to do that is to connect one palm to my belly or navel center, the other palm to the tailbone area, and breathe into the belly. Notice your breath filling and emptying, and that line of connection. Sometimes you'll hear people say, engage your core in a fitness class or a yoga class. One way to do that is to let your navel center, your belly button, gently tug in toward the spine. So you might try that as you exhale. Beautiful. Now, if you'd like, you might bring one palm to the heart center and one palm just cupping behind the ears again, cradling. And you could imagine that area just gently lengthening, softening through the heart and lengthening the back of the neck. Breathing into the heart and the belly. Few breaths. You might take your fingertips and gently tap the bones behind your ears, imagining there's butterflies behind your ears, gently lifting the back of your neck and lengthening the spine. And this is really helpful because many of us spend our days forward at computers or doing things that require us to bend over and hunch over. So yoga helps us remember that we also can be open and move back in space, and that helps create balance in our body. All right, we're going to move into some gentle twists. So if you'd like to change the cross of your legs, if you happen to be sitting down, feel free to do that. And when you're ready, grounding into the lower body, we're just going to twist our rib cage. So you could take your palms and land them at your rib cage and breathe into your lungs and ribs. That's it. So you really feel where your ribs are, the bones of your rib cage. And your lungs filling and emptying. That's it. One more time. In your next breath, you might bring one palm to the belly or where the rib cage meets, and the other palm to your back, or it could be somewhere on your side, and breathe into those two palms. Again, just feeling the fullness of your breath through the back space and the front space of your body. All right. When you're ready, we'll breathe in, lengthen the spine up through the top of your head. The jaw can relax down, and just the rib cage twist to the side. So the lower body stays nice and grounded and heavy and stable. And you might just let the arms rest wherever that feels good. It doesn't matter how deep you twist, it really is more helpful to focus on the aligning and feeling your weight equally on both sitting bones or both feet. You're standing. Breathing into your twisting. Whenever you're ready, calming back through the center. Beautiful. Let's do it again on the other side. Breathing in, lengthening up, and exhaling, just the rib cage and upper body twist to the side. You might notice what you see when you turn your gaze. Maybe there's sunlight, flowers, or trees. You can also imagine what you'd like to see. Maybe your garden, the seeds of your garden that you planted are starting to grow in your imagination. Softening into twisting, and then gently coming back through the center. Beautiful. If you'd like to, you can allow yourself to take a few circles with the tip of your nose, just giving your head and neck a real gentle, easy stretch. So your circles, you might be smaller circles. You could take the circles in the other direction whenever you like. Continue breathing. Beautiful. Let's come back through the center. Again, lengthening, rounding through the spine, maybe wiggling a little bit if you need to have a little wiggle in the hips. And we're coming towards the end of our simple practice here. So do one more gentle stretch to the head and neck, and then we'll breathe and close for this practice. So if you'd like to, just taking your gaze gently to one side, just the head and neck this time, and just gently breathing. Really make it easy. So just allowing yourself to have some awareness of the muscles in your head and neck. Breathing into a little stretch, and then slowly and gently coming back to the center and taking your gaze to the other side. Breathing into your stretching and seeing. And whenever you're ready, letting your gaze come back to the center. If you'd like, allowing your arms to float like wings, breathing up and down. 2 more breaths. Inhaling up, then exhaling down. 1 more. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Beautiful. If you'd like to, you could just gently let yourself lengthen up and take your heart and gaze just gently up a little bit, maybe up towards the sky or the ceiling, and then coming back towards the center. That's it. So beautiful. If you'd like to, you could take your head and neck just gently down and then back up. 1 more time. Down and then back up. And we'll go ahead today and just very gently end this practice. I hope this brought you some energy and some awareness. And just remember those seeds you planted and keep nourishing them to grow in the garden of your heart and in your life as you go about the rest of your day. So let's just end with 3 breaths together. And if you'd like, you might place one hand on your heart center and the other palm on your belly. Okay, 3 breaths together. Breathing in and out. Thank you so much for joining me in this simple practice today. Beginning again and being inspired by nature and the movement of nature. I hope that you continue to be inspired by the movement of nature and the beauty all around us as you continue your day and also your movement and life movement, yoga, whatever kinds of movement you do in your life, just bring that gentle awareness to your breath and the support all around and within you. Thanks for joining. See you again another time.